But what we do have for you is more exciting League of Legends action. As the LJL comes along here, we have Burning Core taking on Sengoku for Game 2. And this is going to be this is another exciting one, and with Burning Core just finding a win over CGA, I'm a little bit excited for their chances in this series, running up against Sengoku. Now, I will say that Burning Core got a little bit of... CGA definitely had their fair share of drafting errors. That is... Nobody is going to argue that one with just the comp they pick. As much as a couple players in the LJL love their Aurelia, her time is past. As much as we might like to cling on into the days of Aurelia in the top lane and the other fun fighting carries, just not quite in the meta at the moment, but that didn't stop CGA from trying, and unfortunately didn't stop them from losing that one either. Also, just the passing over of Lethality Varus, going unpicked, unbanned. It's just another it's just, you know, little bit, just overall, we're just going to pretend that draft never happened. We're going to say GG's to Burning Core. We're going to look forward to how they do against Sengoku, matching up in this one. Now, Sengoku is, of course, the obvious favorite coming into this one. But wouldn't it be exactly in Burning Core's MO to go 4-4 coming out of this week, as they have been the most consistent gatekeeper on both sides between the upper ends and lower ends of bracket. They give a little bit of a check to CGA there. And now, can they do the same for Sengoku? Remains to be seen. I definitely think this is one that will be a little bit harder when you're looking at this matchup in particular for CGA, as Sengoku postures themselves as a very great team fight oriented team. They love the potential 5v5s, and they play around them very effectively. So in a game like that last one, where Burning Core didn't exactly acquire a ton of lane advantages, and we're really just winning the 5v5s around objectives, it's a step up in difficulty, to be sure, against a team like Sengoku. Also, when you're looking at things in terms of just the overall matchup between players, Yu-Gi-Oh still kind of not in a bad position, or I actually think Yu-Gi-Oh is a decent mid laner. He can play weak mids very well, like supportive mids and things of that nature, but I definitely think that Pyrion can posture himself as a very aggressive mid laner and can really put pressure on if Yu-Gi-Oh is not ready for it. But this is also one of those matches that I love watching. The bot lanes on both sides, Yuhi and Yutore Mayesh, are both just very efficient AD carries. They both play like the typical team fight style very well. Oppaman and Ray are both actually fairly similar in terms of top laners as far as their champion pools. We have not seen them on a lot of the picks like Renekton or things like that, but it's not a bad deal for them either way. And yeah, you can see their champion pools here. Oppaman has actually been going for Camille, although it did unfortunately lose. I believe the Camille was picked up in their series against CGA that they ended up losing. Which hopefully they ended up learning their lesson for not melee diving in Aphelios.
レイファーキー選手と比べるとチャンピオンプールは一段劣っているかなというところでありますね。ただその2つが取れた時やはりアパメン選手強力ですからね。
But we'll see how things go for them moving forward in this series. One of the other things that I commonly look for at Sengoku specifically is I think Blank is among the better junglers in the LJL. I think he's overall a very efficient player. I think the difference a lot of times when you're comparing him to some of the other top junglers in the league is he plays low econ junglers very, very well. And he's a very team-oriented jungler. While he doesn't have the same pop-off performances as, say, Boogie or some of the other junglers, they don't typically set Blank up for a carry position, and he's usually the one setting his team up, which he does actually fairly well, so ways to win just through, clean objective play, setting up your team in team fights. Very much a team player focused jungler as go right here in to pick some bans. Zoe going to be first up on the ban table. Sengoku. This is somewhat of an interesting one, as Burning Core did pass over and let Varus go unpicked. So Sengoku could be looking to draft that one up for themselves if they're looking to play it. However, it would be on Burning Core to ban away some of the other common poke mages or otherwise poke-oriented characters to kind of work in tandem. As it looks like Varus will be passed all the way through. We'll leave Aphelios open for Burning Core if they so choose. And I'm curious to see if Sengoku will be actually opting into the Aphelios draft. Or excuse me, into the Varus draft, as I do expect Burning Core to be hitting up that B1 Aphelios. Sengoku have their options available to them. Ashe has been on the rise in popularity in the LJL, and has been somewhat of an interesting case as Ezreal Yuumi has kind of fallen off recently, and unexpectedly so, as it wasn't exactly like Yuumi was having bad performances by any means, but the overall utility that Ashe brings to the table has really been kind of skyrocketing in popularity. As Lee Sin also locked in here for Blank, picking his own champ of choice, as Xin Zhao is going to be locked in by once. This is not, if I do recall correctly, this is not the first time we have seen Xin on, or once on Xin Zhao specifically. I believe it was during Summer Split, somewhere around the same like mid-split area. He did lock in the Xin Zhao before, and the Lulu locked in as well. That could possibly be going either way between either Yu-Gi-Oh or Proud. So a little bit of flex options available there. As Azir also going to be picked up here, a Pyrian special champ, and one that I've been longing to see a little bit more of in the LJL. I'm always a fan of Azir, as it does give you defensive options to just sort of knock away the Xin Zhao after his engage, but postures himself in the later team fights very well, can take advantage of Ashe's utility very well. And another interesting thing is that we have not seen a lot of Trundle so far today. This is the second game Trundle's going completely avoided, but I think the biggest shock overall is that Lethality Varus has kind of completely fallen off And it's not exactly like teams feel the need for Zoe. We did see DFM drafting Lethality Varus alongside things like Ziggs or Xerath, and to a great success in the Spring Split Finals. We'll see how things go as Sengoku drafting up the Aatrox here. Decent blind pick, not exactly the best fighter, as Set is going to be taken over to the side of Burning Core. Looking at their last pickup, possibly could be flexing this Set into the support role if they want the Renekton for this top lane matchup. See what they end up doing. Wukong also an option, and that will be the one they're looking for. Well, for the side of Sengoku, I would typically like to see something a little bit more defensive than a Blitzcrank coming out. Things like Braum, or just overall some things to help deal with the Xin Zhao coming in. The Wukong looking for dive potential. But a Bard coming in is also sort of helps with that. If you can use... Bard is somewhat of a divisive champion, just due to overall skill expression on the character. Bard is a very high skill cap support. His ultimate can be used in a multitude of ways. He has decent amount of damage and utility between his E being able to move people around the map. So I do like the Bard pickup here. It will really kind of put a lot on NT to be able to utilize it effectively in the face of things like Set and Xin Zhao kind of running, or Set, Xin Zhao, and Wukong all kind of running in at you. But we'll see if Sengoku are able to pilot this one out. I'm a little bit surprised that we did not see a Trundle actually coming in on the side of Sengoku. Is a great option into Aphelios. The pillar would be a great way to help deter diving coming out from the side of Burning Core here, but Sengoku definitely have a bit of scaling options available to them. While on the early side of things, we'll see what kind of value Xin Zhao is able to get. I remember the Xin Zhao did not exactly have a very high-flying performance the last time we saw a Xin Zhao in the LJL. I would need to confirm, I would need to check my notes to see if it was once that ended up drafting the Xin Zhao there, but we'll wait to see when the match gets started.
Brought to you by Ipobitan-de, the LJL official drink party. Game on.
さあ始まりました LJL2020 サマースプリットウィーク4ゲーム6バーニングコア vs 戦国ゲーミングスタートです。さあそれではここでコーチインタビューです。
As we start things off here, I do believe that once did kind of run up there to try and get an award down onto Sengoku's side, but Blank was standing there and ready for that one, so took the ward back a little bit before returning for his sweeper. While Burning Core not in need of a leash, will just be able to head down into lane fairly early on here as Sengoku looking for a little bit of poke if they can find it. Now one of the, a great stun found early on from Enti's gonna trade a bit of damage over to Yuhi there. But the benefit for Yu-Gi-Oh in this early side of lane is that you're not too threatened by an Azir, at least not until towards level 6, where Pyrion can start looking for shuffles, but Without gank assist, there's not too much you really need to be worried about.
まあ、ということで、ま
It's
ず
a
この
fairly
新
easy
庄
lane to
は
farm
この
out
リーシン
against
という
Azir.
曲に対して、出してきたということ。そして、
As Yuhi is just
ジャン
eating
グルの
so
ラインが
much
この試合は
poke.
重要だよということを言われてましたね。
そうですね、まあその
May not be a lethality virus, but
そしてしっかりとそこを
Bard Ash still does have a lot of just over the top of the
さあその中でまずは
damage
ワンスがどこに対してプレッシ
to
ャ
kind
ー
of
を
be
抱えて
tossing
いく
out
か
there as Yu-Gi-Oh's getting chunked out a little bit in this
表
lane.
示されておりますが、
まあまずはこのエウゲル選手が使うルルとのコンビネー
Looks
ション
like
が非常
Burning
に強い
Core
と
were thinking that Sengoku might be looking for an invade there, and the ward will spot him out.
アジール
Blank
もしくは
makes his way
フラン
in
ス
there.
選手
Gonna
の
start up the
陣を狙いに行
chickens
くと
over
いうこと
here
になり
while
ますね。
そう、ただ
once is on his Krug camp, and you can see a couple pings coming out. I think Sengoku have an idea of where once is.
82% 戦国ゲーミングウィンとなっています。
It will be a question of if once wants to take a fight for this Scuttle Drake. He has some positioning for it, but with overall pressure on the side of Sengoku, not exactly one that he can look to take so readily.
めったにピックされないチャンピオンが出てきたというところもあってまあ評価がかなり
Empyrean
厳しいものになっている
rotating
というところ
over
だ
to
と思
try
い
and
ますね
keep his junglers chickens safe for now.
信条はトップサイドへリフトスカトルのコントロールを行います。
ちょっとこのままだとミッドレーンのところ常にアジルが押し込んでいるような環境にもなっているというところもあってうまく 2v2 が狙えない
Once will be able to secure the crab there and then has opportunity
別のレーンから仕
up
掛け
towards
て
the
いこうと
top
してます
side of thing. Oppament's a little bit low to be staying this far up in the wave. He knew once was coming here, so a little bit interesting here. Has empowered Q to get a little bit of healing back, but not nearly enough as he's just going to go down for that one.
ここは非常に
And first blood over to the side of Burning Core. That just felt like overall a communication issue for the side of Sengoku, as Pyrion kind of knew what to expect from once as he went over to place the ward there. But Oppaman, not exactly respecting it, just stayed too far up in the lane and ended up going down for it.
まず、自身の成長、さらにはトップレーンの成長を狙ったことによってトップレーンが
Meanwhile, on the bottom side of things,
トップサイドで動きやすいような状況ですが、まだ
just
いけます。
poking out as much as they can. Once is looking for another gank onto the top side here. Oppaman should just be able to get out of this one. Flashes away. The knock-up flash comes through, but once can't exactly finish off there.
しかしアパメンのフラッシュダウン成功。
No follow-up CC and a turret of safety for the side of Burning Core will mean Sengoku can't exactly, or Burning Core can't finish that one all the way through, but a great trade back from Oppaman. Even after the gank, the lane will stay somewhat in his benefit for now.
武器だったら
The pressure from this bot side is starting to add up in the overall CS advantage, and Blank looking to utilize a little bit of that to grab this Infernal Drake as they're going to make an all-in onto Yutoda Miyashi. Proud's going a little bit deep here, not going to be able to find the stun, so not going to be able to get too much more. Although you do force Yutoda Miyashi's heal for Proud's flash there, so not a bad deal overall. Blank should have just enough time to secure the Drake and get out of there. Hawkshot's going to spot once on his way in, give Sengoku the call that they need to back off there. NT being a little bit risky there, walking up, but possibly looking for a bait there. You could see Blank hovering around. He knows that his support's going for something. He is making the call to turn back around as Proud makes the Hex Flash in. Yuhi's going to be forced to cleanse off the stun there. Once is in now, he will have the knock up onto NT in a moment. The W not going to find his way onto the Ash. As Yutoda Miyashi can just slow them down. It's too hard for Burning Core to try to kite away at that point. Don't think NT has an empowered auto, but if he does, a Q auto is enough. Flash Q auto onto Yuhi, and that's a quick way to get a free kill onto the Aphelios. Good stuff over to Sengoku, turning around that play as NT finds 2 kills very early on here. And that sort of felt like Burning Core might have misread how much HP Blank had after the dragon, as looks like immediately after, Once is just going to be able to run straight back down and find himself a kill onto Bard, collect that shutdown as early as he found it.
レーンでキル取ったばっかりじゃないかと。
その自陣キャンプをからずに即座にボットレーンに直行した動きでしたが
Feels like feels a bit interesting there, but Pyrian does not even need to throw down the Azir wall to pop the ultimate onto Yu-Gi-Oh! That makes him much more of a susceptible target.
ジエンドというような状況でしたから
There's a lot of action early on in this one.
その隙を与えなかった素晴らしい動きですね
Looks like Blank making a good call to head over onto the blue buff as, speaking of, NT's actually going to snipe that one away. Will mean no blue buffs over to their respective mid laners, but
リーシンと同じにファーム差が
NT taking away the blue buff on that side, he's not exactly
ここ
too...
でレベルの差が開くとなると
He makes out like a bandit in the end
一
as...
層行いづらくなるのでドラフトの狙いが破綻する可能性が出てくるんですよね
Rift Herald spawning up here soon. Blank has a decent amount of pressure on this side of the map with Yu-Gi-Oh! Not having ultimate up. And Pyrian at a decent amount of HP, he will be able to kind of cover in lane for now, while once is isolated up towards, or down towards his red side.
この段階ですでにブランクレベル6に対してワンスはレベル5ということで、すでに経験値差が生まれている。
Pyrian throwing one or two autos and saying, that's about all you get out of me, before
しかもここボットレーンの
knowing he needs to take a back, gets his lost
ほぼ一人
chapter.
で取れているという状況は本当に大きいですよね
And Blank,
ブランクが
like we mentioned in Champ Select, is just he's a jungler that likes to kind of play the map and play for his team through objective control
そうですね
and getting much the better end of a lot of this pathing early on.
作っておきたいというのがバーニングコアサイドの狙いだったでしょうから今の段階だと1000ゴールド逆に負けてしまっている状況ですですからまあうまくいっていないというのは明らかだと思いますね
There's an Ocean Drake up in about 130. We'll be able to utilize that Rift Herald to play around that, but Pyrian's going to be making a play early on here. Shuffles in Yu-Gi-Oh, but the ultimate is back up and good as Blank, I don't think has W, is forced to flash away. The auto might be enough for him to burn down. Narrowly going to survive on that one. Red buff going to help him tick up in HP as well as popping his refill pots to help out there. But that will give Pyrian the opportunity just to shove in this lane all the way. Not going to be able to get any turret plates, says Oppaman, looking for some action in the top side. Does pop the World Ender. But Ray retaining his ultimate does present opportunity here. Oppaman did go for the Bramble Vest early on, so he is missing a little bit of the CDR, which does kind of limit his all-in potential as you have to wait that extra time for the chain Qs or for the empowered autos off of the passive there, so NT gonna be wandering up here to try and clear away the ward here. Might be ill-timed, but Blank is here to make sure this play goes okay. Yu-Gi-Oh's first to rotate though. Sengoku will make the call to back off. Good recognition from them, but Blank might be the target. No flash on him as he'll look for a little bit of an engage there. Not one he can take all the way. Here comes the Tempered Fate. Landed onto only Yuhi for now. He's going to be forced to flash off the stun. Teleport comes in. Ray Farky's here now and has ultimate to help make this fight happen. Pyrian's going to be the one engaged on. No ultimate just yet. Still waiting on that one. Barely going to come up in time to save his life there, but now with him chunked out, Burning Core might be able to grab up this Drake in relative safety. And he's in a little bit of an interesting position, although should have Magical Voyage to get out over the wall. That will be Ocean Drake, claimed by Burning Core. After Pyrian waiting on the cooldown that only just came up, and had it been up sooner, could have potentially had a play going. Was once coming over the wall in a little bit deep here to try and all-in Oppaman. Will force out the ultimate as another one comes in by Proud as he's going to look for the dunk onto Blank. Find him there as Oppaman a little bit too low HP to try and help out his jungler. And I like the play from Burning Court. Unfortunately, losing a little bit to the top and bot side for it, but
ボットレーンはフリーでの CG にはなります
Very
が
decisive there and getting a decent amount of value over from once as Proud looking for a Hex Flash opportunity. Not quite going to make it over the wall there, so
ちょっと壁をこすってしまいましたね。
そうですね、壁を越えることはできませんでした。
no harm, no foul on that account.
さあその一つバーニングコアの狙いの動き序盤から仕掛けていくぞと、
Well, the Rift Herald is spawned up here in the mid lane. Pyrian
これさらには
going to be clearing out the waves to get that charge. Cash in on a little bit of that gold
使わざるを得ないような状況になってしまったと。
ワンスのカバー間に合ってますね。ただ
to help even things up here. Actually, sets and Goku
ここは不幸中の幸いでした
a little bit up in the advantage here, about 1,000 gold lead. In overall, what just is kind of coming out from farm advantages, mainly in the bot and mid lane, as
まあそうですね、ここまでのところ
Yu-Gi-Oh being forced to burn his ultimate a number of times just so early on in the lane.
眼光刺されて後から
It costs him dividends as he's almost 50 C or 40 CS. Yeah, no, 50 CS down. Excuse me, can't do math for a moment there, but
この差は仕方ないのかなというような状況ではあります。
NT or Pyrian doesn't exactly need kills to be able to find advantages here, as
そうですね。
he's effectively almost killed Yu-Gi-Oh twice just purely in the amount of gold that he has lorded over him with a couple turret plates to boot.
ワン選手はトップのレイファーキー選手に対して
Not a bad deal if you are a Zir in this one, as Blank will just kind of continue to play around this bottom end of the map for now and see what he can find. There's no great position for NT to really get a Magical Voyage off into this bot lane to allow Blank a gank opportunity, but looks like Blank is going to take a reset here, as he might be looking to posture up towards the top side of the map and look for an opportunity onto that Rift Herald. For now, Sengoku have enough vision on the bottom side to keep their bot lane protected, so they don't need to worry about things going, or about any ganks opportunities, as it really would be time wasted on Once's side.
いうのがうまく狙えない可能性ということの方が高いので、ここは柔軟に対応していきたいですね。
Well, Rift Herald is spawning up here and no vision, so if Blank actually Sonic Waves over the wall here without kiting too far up to the objective, or to the Rift Scuttler there, he won't actually be spotted out. He can keep it on the bottom side of the pit, and Pyrian, with the way he's coming over, should be able to help onto that one, but here comes Proud. He's going to spot him out here, and members of Burning Core are showing up in force. 4k HP on that one, but it will get the reset off, and that will heavily slow up how long this play will take for Burning Core, as it looks like Yutori Mayashi's just going to make the call to push in the wave. He might be able to knock down the turret. We'll need to see the HP on that one to confirm, but yeah, he has opportunity, and turret plates are down, so first turret for Rift Herald is going to go the way of Sengoku.
判断してやめましたね。
おっとリコールは止められず。
Narrowly avoiding the stops back on that one, but for right now, Sengoku are kind of just enjoying, are kind of okay with the way the map is being set up right now. The shutdowns are coming in just from how far ahead the carries are, but the Tempered Fate is going to be onto Yuhi. Their kick is good, all the way into Pyrian's arms. Ult is a little bit unnecessary, but really just trying to chain CC the Aphelios so that he has no opportunity to flash.
ここフラッシュもクレンズもある中で前のめりになったところ、両方つかずに捕まってしまったというのは痛いですね。
That's going to be a kill over to Pyrian.
次のドレイクのタイミングがもうすでに6秒。
A good setup for him as he's going to look for first turret, but gets dunked back, gets yoinked out of his own E and knocked down for it. That's going to be a 200 gold shutdown given back over to Proud, as it feels like every kill in this game so far has been an eye for an eye. As Cloud Drake going to get started up here by Burning Core, who overall have some good Cloud Soul users. Between Ray and Once, both champions that could definitely benefit. That is something that Xin Zhao kind of can always benefit from, is a little bit of extra move speed to help stick on to whoever he is issuing the grand challenge on.
ここのゴールドを生かして、キャッチのプレッシャーを高めていく。バードは今回普通にシャドウに
But the unfortunate position for Burning Court is the overall position of a lot of the gold.
一方のプラウド選手もデッドマンプレード言ってますから、かなり
Already cresting past one item for Pyrian and Yutori Miyashi, their carries are the ones that are reaching their online point, while on the side of Burning Core, Yuhi's still struggling to get his first item.
バーニンコはヘラルドを使ってになっていました。
Is about 1200 gold still away from that one. So his ability to team fight is still going to be a little bit lacking, and what Sengoku are going to be able to do with that time is really going to be up to them if they're going to be looking for engages throughout the rest of this mid game while we wait for objectives to come up, so they can't posture around those, can't kind of fall back to those objective timers.
レイファーキそしてエウゲを送っていますバーニンコ。
As a CS lead in the mid lane continues to grow, that's about a 70 CS lead for Pyrian, who has just kind of been enjoying a lane he gets to free farm in
何が焦点になってきますか。
as he's cresting up towards his second item now.
4つ目のドラゴン、というところクラウドドレイクになっていくと思いますね。ここでバーニングコアがクラウドドレイク取れるとその後の展開一気に有利になっていきますから。
And it'll just be a bit of a lull state until most likely this next Drake. Neither team really needs to overextend for anything huge. Sengoku kind of can look for a pick. You do have the setup for it if you find a good play for a Bard ultimate. But other than that, neither team really has amazing catch potential. And waiting for these objectives is really... Although Cloud Soul isn't the most impactful soul, it's more about what you're drawing them into. But we might be buckled in for a little bit of a long one if both teams kind of bide their time and position to scale, because neither team really needs to fight for Drakes too terribly hard. It is nice for either side to have ultimates up sooner, especially for the side of Sengoku being able to throw out arrows and Bard ultimates on a shorter cooldown is very helpful. But it's not exactly necessary or dire by any means, so... Proud gonna be actually finding a stun on Yutori Miyashi, who just kind of walked into his face there, got flashed on, and... As I said it, you know, as I said, neither team really needs to look for a play opportunity. Yutori Miyashi just kind of walks up and hands over his gold. Full item advantage really means nothing if you're just going to be CC'd the entire time anyway. As Yutori Miyashi really just didn't need to walk up to the lane at all. The wave was being pushed into him. He could have safely farmed that one under turret, but... A decisive engage from Proud is a great way to find just a free kill amongst ultimately what was going to be no other real amounts of action, but for the side of Burning Core, they're going to be looking around the Baron area, trying to set up a bit of vision. Just enough. You don't need to set up a ton of vision, given that the Cloud Drake is coming up, but definitely setting up enough just to know that Sengoku aren't trying to take a trade up in objectives. And utilizes your advantage here. He's going to find a stun onto Proud. Chain stun with the crystal arrow. Blank going over the wall. Thinking about going for a kick opportunity, but kites backwards once he sees Ray coming in there. And that's good recognition from Blank there. I like that. I like the recognition to just... Okay, hold on. Let's slow things down in case you need to end up using the kick defensively to help out your team. And definitely from that position, a Cyclone could find huge amounts of value, so... A good defensive posturing for Blank. ends up paying dividends, and Burning Core looking around the Baron area. A Hawkshot will spot them out for their sneaky nature. That being said, this is sort of what I was talking about also, as well as Sengoku picks up the Drake here, is you can see how much you'll begin to see it a bit later, but Blank, like I said, is one of those lower econ junglers. He's 2 levels behind once right now, but his carries in the items that they're going to be able to complete, and when it comes to having them online sooner, it will pay a lot more, as NT doesn't know he's standing on a ward here, has Magical Voyage to get over the wall as he finds a beautiful stun onto Yu-Gi-Oh and Yuhi. Before he can get out here, Proud has Hex Flash over the wall, thinking about looking for an opportunity, but Sengoku have inside track for the mid lane for now. Posturing for a fight. Blank gonna be finishing with those Sonic Waves. Here comes the flash in. Proud will be able to find 3 with the Face Breaker, but the Tempered Fate will slow things down for now, as NT's gonna use this time to kite backwards. And overall, it looks like gonna avoid any fights for now. But Burning Core going to be looking back, retreating back into the Baron side where they know they have full vision control. And that will force Sengoku forward. Luckily for Sengoku, they can utilize the Hawk Shots for now to buy themselves a little bit more space, as Proud's going to come over the wall here, utilizing the Nimbus Cloak and the Hex Flash there for a little extra move speed. NT's just duking it out with the support. Blank's on the other end of the map, though. They can't really look for a contest here, as only now is he going to be making his way up. Spam Ping's coming out. I don't think they knew that Burning Core was entirely on it already, but Burning Core make the call to peel off. And Burning Core honestly could have tried to finish that one off. Not wanting to risk the 50-50 is understandable, but Blank was so far away, I don't think even Burning Core knew how far Sengoku was from, or how far Blank specifically was from the Baron, and they had it about 3k HP. But their fear gets the better of them, and they back away from the Baron, which will ever remain a mystery of if that was the right call. As overall, we'll kind of just reset to neutral ground for now. Sengoku will have their turn at setting up the Baron vision here. We'll look to see how they play this one out. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of things, Alphaman and Rayfarky will just be continuing their really dead even, although was only short-lived, time of CS, as Sengoku returning now back up towards the Baron side, looking at just utilizing the amount of fog that they have to try and buy pressure. Once is going to be the one leading the charge in here, going all in on the Blank. He's a little bit deep here, but he knows he has enough support behind him, as well as a decent chain CC option when it comes to getting the knockup and then getting an additional knockup from Yu-Gi-Oh popping ultimate onto him. But ultimately, the situation diffuses for now as Sengoku going to be trying to reclaim some of the vision that they worked so hard for, but Proud and Once working their way around the upper end here. Period, not going to walk up all the way to spawn out that ward, so going to go uncleared for now, as Blank going to just retreat back to his Krugs. And now this is a similar situation to what we had before, where Burning Core has opportunity to just burn down the Drake, while Sengoku are just not entirely aware. They don't have all the vision here. Blank is going to be wandering back up here, but is standing on a ward for now. Depends on how much time Proud can really buy for him. The Sonic Wave didn't connect there, so he didn't get vision of the Baron. Well, Pyrian is rotating in here. Teleport from Opman will force Burning Core away. Getting Baron once again down to about half HP. The Baron dances continue, but this time with Drake spawning up here, Sengoku are just going to take the inside track towards the Drake. And we'll see how Burning Core respond. They can really just pressure down the mid lane turret if they would so choose. But taking a fight here could really be detrimental, and that's sort of been the story of this game so far, as it's been very, very close, and every objective has been traded for another in this game. Every kill traded back, slightly favored for Burning Core, but it's been kill for a kill, or it's been turret for a Drake, or it has been a Rift Herald for a turret, and all of this has kind of led to only having such small goal discrepancy between the teams. And every time Burning Core start up the Baron, they put themselves at potential to sort of start cracking this game open. But Blank is here, 3k HP on it. Blank's gonna need to go in here. The Temper Fate's gonna stall out that one for now. Will he be able to go over the wall here? It's going to be going the way of Zinzao. Burning Core securing that one is up on the top side of things. Not going to be getting anything done as they're forced to retreat. Burning Core are routed, but does Sengoku have enough to chase him down? Flash Volley will be able to get their way onto once, as he'll be forced to go all in there. Hopefully buy enough time for his team. No, a beautiful snipe there. I believe Blank actually stopped the back first with that Sonic Wave, but that is going to be 2 members going down from Burning Core. Baron dropped off of them as Sengoku find themselves a great fight. So the arrow comes in to snipe Ray Farky there, and over the wall, Blank tries to come in here for the smite as Proud just immediately dunks him back over and flashes to get away. Pyrian narrowly missing on that shuffle. But then at this point, Burning Core, all they can do is run, and sure, you get Yuhi out. But it ends up costing 2, as this Sonic Wave snipe is so good from Blank, as he barely gets in range to find the Q there. And while Burning Core do have Baron on a couple key members, it'll be a little bit difficult to see if they'll be able to really get a ton of value out, as Pyrian is already 2.5 items up, is very heavy in lane clear. While on the side of Burning Core, they don't exactly have the highest... They don't exactly have great siege potential overall, and risk kind of eating a close range arrow, Blank having a great kick opportunity for it. Because Burning Core don't have the defensive tools to really siege and protect themselves from a sort of counter from the side of Sengoku. So they need to be careful here, as Race is going to be face checking a lot of members of Sengoku. The W stealth is no match for the true sight of the Sonic Wave there. We'll force a couple ultimates out, as the Timber Fate's going to lock up Yuhi for a little bit. Not going to be able to find any damage over the wall just yet. But Ray is still relatively low. Opperman's coming in here. Cyclone just to buy him some room. Once is trying to come in, but it gets stunned up, locked up, and knocked down. Sengoku knocking down the Zinzao now have all the pressure that Burning Core should have had with this Baron, but it looks like Sengoku are going to be the ones knocking down a turret for it. They can pressure onto this inhibitor turret. Going to be backing away for now. As Sengoku take the safe option just to try and back away, take some of the gold that's already on the map. And ultimately not a bad deal overall. The unfortunate side is just this scenario where Ray just kind of is wandering up here. He's making calls like he wants to go in onto Sengoku, but he does not respect just when they leave the mid lane vision. He was sort of assuming that they were still hanging out there.
フラッシュがない、
はい、
Pyrian just kind of fishing for a little bit of damage onto Yuhi, and then at this point, the rest of the members of Burning Court are just in no position to get any value out of this fight, and once kind of makes the call to go solo up towards the top side of things.
はい、
重要なメンバーに対して獅子当て続けてます
Doesn't end up quite working out for him in the end, but
ここも精霊の旅路でエンティ逃げ延びています。
what has felt like 30 minutes of just a very close game. Neither team is finding one of those hard team fight win moments, and everything has just been a 1-for-1, but a beautiful anti-ultimate. Might find a stun immediately after. Yui's gonna go golden to buy himself some time. Beautiful ultimate from Proud to try and peel him away from his AD carry, but the knockup comes in. Is that enough to knock him down? It is. Pyrian finding a huge amount of value in this fight, as this might have just been what we were looking for. Sengoku come up huge in that fight. There was it starts off the anti-ultimate, and while you do have stopwatch on Yuhi, it does not buy you enough time because you're only dodging out on one part of the CC. Immediately knocked up by the wall, and then at that point you're still just struggling to find time to do damage. And that might have just been what Sengoku needed to end this game. One swift blow is all it takes, but Sengoku go for the head, as they're going to be able to knock down this game, and they're going to take it over Burning Court. A precarious game, but overall Sengoku play out the fight beautifully, and ultimately, I want to say MVP over to NT in that last fight, as that ultimate find was really what made the difference. Proud tried to pick up the pieces there by ulting them away from his AD carry and bought him a little bit of space. But once Pyrian was able to get in there with the shuffle and just get that one last knock-up in, it really made the difference in how much time that Aphelios was able to do damage. In the wake of that one, though, we're going to be taking a quick break, going to be letting the ads play and everything before we go into our next game, coming up immediately after this one. It's going to be Sengoku returning to the stage. Or actually, no, excuse me. It's going to be CGA returning to the stage, as they're going to be taking on DFM for game 7 here today. Don't go anywhere if you guys are waiting on that game. If you guys are enjoying the stream and the content, go ahead and leave a follow down below. I am Dr. No. I do all of the English broadcasts for the LJL. The way I do things is I do the first 4 games alongside the LJL proper. So what that means is I do, when they go live either Saturday or Sunday, I do the stream alongside them, and I stream games 1 through 4. Then the day after, being today, I do games 5 through 8, sort of going in line with the 4-game pod breakup that we get, or that the LJL does, and how their teams shake things out. If you want to know when I'm going live, go ahead and leave a follow down below. Still on the road to the 50 follower count. Also, you can leave a follow at my Twitter, which is in the description below. If you guys are interested in following me there, I tweet out all the content I do, and so I tweet out my streams when they go live. I tweet out when I post videos, which I do the VODs, I upload all